Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 3DS VC review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Ninja Gaiden 3, the Ancient Ship of Doom, I think it is. I think that says the Ancient. As I've explained in many videos, my eyesight's bad, so reading that from here is rather difficult. And I've never really cared about the title of the name before, I just call it Ninja Gaiden 3. I suppose the only reason that it comes in handy to know it now is because there's two Ninja Gaiden ones. In fact, to be fair, I think there's about four, because there was one for the Game Boy, I believe, and then there was also a remake, and it was supposed to be a different game, something like Shadow of the Ninja, and then it was bought by the people who do Ninja Gaiden, so that is technically another Ninja Gaiden 1. And then there's also the Ninja Gaiden arcade game, so that's Ninja Gaiden 1. So there's about 4 Ninja Gaiden 1s that I can think of, and there's at least 2 Ninja Gaiden 2s and 2 Ninja Gaiden 3s. The whole premise, though, of this one, it's set between 2 and 1 on the NES, and it's the same game style, so it's a very Castlevania style game where basically you've got your energy and the enemy's energy at the top all the way through, but the enemy is just for the boss. It tells you what stage you're on and things like that. You've got a timer, you've got their Nimpo, basically you've got to get, in Castlevania it was get hearts, and once you got hearts you could use your secondary weapon, of which there's quite a few on this. I mean, there's fire, there's fire wheels and things like that, and it just depends on personal preference which one you use when you use it. They just come out with the things that you can collect, though, the lanterns and that I'm destroying. At least I believe the lanterns, whatever they are really. And they all do different things, and as I say, it's personal preference on whether or not you like it and whether it suits your playstyle or not. I've already been able to show the fire one off, and then I've been able to show whatever that one is, again with vision failing, not easy, and then this one here, I don't actually think I've got enough to be able to show it, so hopefully I'll be able to get enough to show this one as well. But the second one that I used was essentially the same as the fire, but it fired down instead of up, which that's the only real difference I could ascertain with it at the time. Basically though, I think I've just got, enough for that. And again, that was just firing down, although I think that's because I've actually changed weapon again. Sorry. Right, basically though, this game never really receives a lot of favourable press, because loads of people say it's too hard, and they immediately select the game. And part of the problem is, the Japanese version was much easier, and for releasing it for the Western audiences, it was scaled up far greater in terms of difficulty, which is very contradictory, because at the same time on the NES, not New Super Mario, I'm getting used to the new ones now, Super Mario Bros. 2, which was known as the Lost Levels over here, but Super Mario Bros. 2 over in Japan, and instead what we know Super Mario Bros. 2 is Super Mario Bros. USA in Japan, because it was another game over there. You might have heard those stories. If not, then I've probably just rocked your world. I severely doubt I've just rocked your world. Quite frankly, you already knew about it, I'd imagine. And the whole point was, the Japanese said, well, that's far too hard for the Westerners, so let's give them an easier game. And then with this, it was, well, this is far too easy, so let's give them a harder game. And it makes no sense to me, it really doesn't. Unless literally these came out years apart, which I don't think they did, because I think they came out, I think this was after Mario Bros. 2, I'm positive it was, because I think this was around about the same time as Mario Bros. 3. So maybe that's why they did it. Maybe because the Western gamers complained and said, well, why didn't we get the proper version? So maybe they thought, right, then let's give them this. And basically, they made the enemies harder, they made them take more damage and deal more damage. They give you a limited continue system, so you don't have infinite. You just, once you're up, and I'll be running out pretty soon, to be fair, because I'm struggling like hell to say this, and I'm just getting my butt kicked. And they removed the password system, or at least there wasn't a password system. There mightn't have been in Japan either. But all of that basically meant that the game is absolutely insanely rock hard, and loads of people slated it. And rule 1 of any professional reviewer, and even as you learn as an indie reviewer, you do not slate a game because it is hard and you are bad at it. That is not how you do things. You can complain if the game is so easy that you honestly don't even feel like you were the one playing the game. You've more felt like the computer was playing. I've done it, and loads of others do it. But if you are so bad at a game and you find it so difficult, that doesn't mean the game is bad, it means you're bad at the game. So you do not sit there and slate the game. It's just not done. It's just one of those unwritten rules that technically is written. Yet when this got re-released on the VC the last time on the NES, when we were waiting ages for it, that's all I saw. Just loads of people. Oh, well, my review is, I give this like a 2 out of 10, because, I mean, it's just so hard, and I can't beat it. Well, yeah, that's great. You can't beat it. That doesn't mean everyone else can't beat it. Why have you slated the game? There's not any glaring problems that make it a low-scored game. It's not buggy, it's not glitchy, it's not unplayable in any way other than the fact that it's rock hard. So it just means you have to play it and get better at it. Fair enough. Give people a warning, because not everyone's into hard games, so they might think twice about buying it, which is essentially what I've just done there. That was my public service announcement of the day. If you do not like hard games, do not buy this. It is insanely rock hard. It is the hardest Ninja Gaiden I think they ever made, as far as I'm concerned. I find it far harder than Ninja Gaiden 1 Remake, which a lot of people slated for its difficulty, when actually, I must admit, after the first boss, it's not really that difficult. In fact, to be fair, I'd say the first boss probably is the hardest, with the exception of Alma, who just absolutely hates me. Every single time I play against Alma on that remake, I just think, why? Why do you hate me so much? Because everyone else finds it quite easy, and I've discussed this at length. She just seems to personally hate me, so she makes my life as difficult as possible. But even then, I still think the first boss, the training guy essentially, is probably the hardest on it. So this, when I finally got to play it, which the first time I did play this, and all the NES ones to be fair, was I think the arcade ports that they had on Ninja Gaiden's remake, and then they removed them, and I was absolutely gutted because I didn't get to finish Ninja Gaiden 3, and that's why I was so gutted when it didn't come out in our VC, and I've had to wait ages for it. So it's nice to have finally got it. And I don't think it's as good as 1 or 2, but not because of the difficulty, just because, I mean, the way things go, I mean, the story is a bit out there, and gameplay-wise, it is pretty much more the same, which by now, it's not as fresh, so I think it's just one of those that if you absolutely love the originals and you can put up with a hard game, then yeah, get it. It's a good game. If you absolutely hate the originals, there's not going to be anything here, unless you hated how easy they were in your opinion, then there's not really going to be anything here that makes you like this. If you are nonplussed and you could give or take, but you're not keen on hard games, then just leave well enough alone. If you're nonplussed but you love hard games, then it might be worth looking into, and it might get you into the franchise, the genre, etc. like that, you know. Graphically, I think the game looks rather good, and it's there's a lot of the same colours used though, as you might have noticed as I've replayed this level over and over again, because I really am. I'm kind of like going on memory here from being able to jump on certain places, because I just cannot see the screen where I am. Musically, I think it sounds okay. I don't think it's as good as the first two, but it still does sound okay. And gameplay-wise, if you can actually manage to see it through to the end, which I have heard there's some cheats. I mean, there's like, I know the Japanese version had cheats and was widely known, but I've then also heard people see it, and this is the sort of thing that I then start to not believe them, because I remember vastly trying to get Barry Burton on Resident Evil when people absolutely swore to me that it could be done, and I sat there like a fool trying the method over and over. This sounds like one of those things. Apparently, you've got to switch it on, let the menu screen come up. On the 6th time, I believe it is, you've got to enter some code. Then you've got to wait until it hits the menu screen for the 8th time. Then you've got to hit start, and you start with 99 continues. I kind of don't want to try it as much as I do, because I don't want to sit there looking the fool again, but at the same time I'm thinking it might actually allow me to beat the game in one sitting instead of constantly having to get good enough and replay it. Which is the usual method of of Ninja Gaiden 3. You just have to basically play it enough until you get to the point that you know perfectly how to do each and every level. And overall, it's hard to see how many levels it's got, because I consider different things differently to others. Officially, there's 7 acts in the game, and some acts have level 1, 1-1, then 1-2, then etc. And I think it's act 5, I think it goes 5-1, 5-2, 5-3, but then it goes 5-2-1 or something like that, so 5-2-1, so it's hard to see how many levels it's actually got, so I'm best off just saying there are 7 acts in the game, and it is a decent length, especially considering I severely doubt there is anyone out there who on their first time playing this manages to beat it in one sitting, because it's just insanely difficult because of that. So yeah, that's my honest thoughts on it. It's a good game that gets unfairly bashed by a lot of people who are bad at the game, so they think, well, let's just slate it. I'll admit, I am nowhere near that good at the game. Even when I can see the screen properly, this is standard, I suppose, for me. For the first few attempts, I'll just die and die and die, and then restart and do the first couple levels over and over until I get to the point that I start getting almost in the zone to be able to beat those levels without dying and then move on. And it's just that sort of thing. I'm not that good at the game, but I still don't think that it's a bad game because of that. I just know that I need to get better at playing it to be able to enjoy it more. So I think it is actually a good game. So there we go then. That's been the review. I hope you found it helpful. I don't score the games because that's based purely on opinion, so instead I'll leave you to make your own mind up. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions about the game that I didn't answer in the vid or that hasn't been answered in the comments, then feel free to ask and I'll help if I can. Also, if you did find it helpful, don't forget to check out my channel because there's plenty more like this up there, and don't forget to subscribe because there'll be plenty more to come as well. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.